Hello everybody, it's your old friends, I'm Monday Madness, and welcome to another episode of the Jelly-Filled Donut Podcast.
Woo! Woo!
Oh, did I say Jelly-Filled Donut? I meant to say Jelly-Filler Donut, because that's exactly what this is. for the next 20 weeks. So,
we're only 5 episodes away from Koga.
Yes, that's true. So, eyes on the prize, lads.
Yeah.
Okay? For us it's a long time.
Make
for you,
it through the filler.
yeah. For you, it's merely a week. For us, it's pain and suffering. But yes, we're back on another episode of the Indigo League of the original Pokemon cartoon series that you all remember from your childhoods.
Yeah.
And as you will see from this podcast, you'll drink to forget, or at least if last week was anything to go by. Thankfully, there's very little nonsense in this episode. There's a lot more wholesome, I think.
The episode's still nonsense.
It's clever. Aren't you clever? Yeah. Anyway, so this episode is called Pokemon Fashion Flash. Not that quite, but
It's incredible.
it really isn't. But we are in. Do we reckon this is still Celadon City, lads?
Yeah.
I want to say this is now like West Celadon.
Like West End Celadon?
Yeah.
West End Celadon.
West End Celadon, yeah. Change
right.
approved. There we go.
Yeah. But no, I'd still say this is Celadon because
Yeah.
after this you have the cycling road on one end.
That's what I'm saying. He's literally
jumping.
migrating down to where he's meant to be. So
Yeah.
I think that works. So yeah, let's start the episode, lads. Let's not waste time. We open with a shot of a building that says Citrus Street 506 on the front, with what appears to be an Eevee, a Flareon, and Doduo on the sides. Asha asks why they've come here, and Brock tells them to wait as Misty remarks on the amount of beauty parlours. So again, it is pretty much like, oh, this is where everyone goes to be pretty.
Yep.
The narrator enters to see that they've gone to Scissor Street, saying that only Brock knows the reason why they're here. I can hazard a fucking guess.
I have to think this is the equivalent of like the Grafton Street, the high-end shopping district.
I guess so, yeah. I mean, I don't know if we have one of them in Ireland, but I mean,
That's the closest we have.
I guess so, yeah. I mean, it is closest, yeah. Like, I was thinking more like really kind of upstate New York type shops, like, you know, where you have to pay like $1,000.
Fifth Avenue or
Fifth Avenue, yeah, or like something you have to pay like $1,000 to even look into the place.
Yeah, Hollywood Boulevard or those kind of things.
That's exactly it. Yeah, so it's one of those ones. The rich part of Celadon.
Yeah.
You know, the other side of Celadon is where the game corner is, and all the hobos like fight themselves for change. So
that's like the O'Connell Street.
Yes.
Dr. Quirky's Fun Time Emporium.
Dr. Quirky's game corner. Where you can look at all the wonderful things we have. We have caps, we have Dratinis, we have Porygons. Get your Dr. Quirky's. So so again, Misty remembers that Scissor Street is also called Breeder's Lane, as Brock looks left and right to try and find something. And then Ash then realises that Brock is always looking for the latest breeder gear.
He is definitely looking for a hooker.
He's I mean, don't call it Breeder's Lane for nothing. Breeder's Lane, or also known as Shagger Street, more appropriate. The narrator continues to say Brock's dream is to become a breeder. So shockingly, we're in an episode about Brock this week.
Oh,
okay.
Hooray! I know everyone was looking for that. So, we explained that someone who's trying to learn how to raise Pokemon, that is a Pokemon breeder. And we get a title screen from there. So, although well, like, we've basically waited 20 or so episodes because we've introduced Brock already at this point.
Yeah.
We're familiar with the character. Well, now you go, okay, now let's tell you what a Pokemon breeder actually means.
Yeah, because like he's
It's
just
not
going
as
like, I
creepy
want
as
to be
you
the
think.
best breeder, and everyone's like, okay,
Why?
grand, off you go.
Good.
Why are you hanging out with children?
Oh, you're a Pokemon breeder. Ah. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, no, you're still going to need to explain that.
Yeah, you're still under arrest either way. You're not getting about that easy, motherfucker.
Oh, head of the Pokemon Lovers Club.
Oh, I see. You've been exposed. That's why he doesn't travel to fucking home to Johto or home, and there's fucking APBs out for him. Over here. So we see when we come back from the title stream, we see a few people in kind of strange costumes, like kind of like Cavalier suits and fucking like other like punk outfits and stuff. In fact, there's a Bulbasaur with a punk haircut, which I found really funny.
Oh yeah.
Because we all know Bulbasaur is the most punk of the starters.
I mean, yeah.
Nah, Squirtle, come on.
With its glasses.
Yeah. Squirtle, mohawk, leather jacket, shades, absolutely.
Charmander in a leather jacket.
Will set fire to itself all the time.
Yeah.
That's pretty metal.
That's pretty punk.
That's pretty punk, yeah, in fairness. I was thinking more, I'm thinking more like Charmander's more your house kind of variety. Like he literally sets light to the place. Like he's literally on fire, you know. But anyway, Brock explains there are a lot of Pokemon salons in this area, and Misty is immediately distracted by a poster showing the latest fashion. So I'm sorry, Burkbot, Misty's a girl again.
Yeah. No, like, in fairness, you know, if I saw bizarrely dressed Pokemon outfits, I think I would be intrigued by that.
Yeah, it's true.
They're saying it's fashion, but it's just bizarre costumes.
Yes.
And
That is fashion to me, though.
you know, I love a good costume party. So, you know...
Halloween is her favourite holiday.
Yes, you should know.
I should know,
Which is why I turn up to all of your non-costumed birthday parties in a costume.
Isn't it such weird? That's the thing. About having a birthday, I think it's just me being a miserable fuck. But I've just never had a Halloween party because it's always been a birthday.
And I've tried to make every Halloween party a Halloween party because I dress up for
Even whenever you told me it was a costume party.
Yes. You've had no say in the matter. To her,
no one
it's a
else
costume
dressed
party.
up, but we stole the show.
You did. You did.
Thanks for that.
Dr. Krieger.
Yes. Well, in fairness, maybe this year is going to be different. Who knows?
Dun dun dun.
Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, ghastly. We're not dressing up as this podcast. That is not fucking happening.
Kitchen of Madness to show up as a jelly-filled donut.
Dun dun dun.
That is absolutely not happening. Not a chance. If it is, it has to be Paul. As Brock explains, there's a lot of salons in the area. Misty's obviously distracted by a poster. The poster is of an Ekans and a coffin. Where have we seen them before? With frogs with an R pointing to the left. Misty then thinks that's cute, and Ash gets pulled into it as Brock thinks on it, going, this looks very gauche. We see a queue outside of a place with a love heart and an R. I love the way this looks because the R is so clearly like stitched onto the scene.
Yeah.
Like you can see the outline. The shading is all wrong. And I just like. And me, for someone who does like video stuff, every time I see that, I just cringe like, oh god, you did that so wrong. Yeah. Why couldn't you do the shading? 100% opacity. What are you thinking?
It's supposed to stand out.
Oh, it fucking does stand out, James. You can tell it's like a fucking like bam, fixed it.
Yep.
Get rid of that strange kanji stuff. You can't have kids seeing that. And it obviously has a voiceover James then saying Pokemon can be unbelievably beautiful, saying they will dazzle you with the latest designs from Salon City, which is like the fucking hyacinth bouquet.
No,
of fucking
literally,
Pokemon,
I was going to make that reference. The residence, lady of the house speaking.
Well, again, it's a Pokemon episode. Team Rocket do have to keep up appearances.
Boo.
Shut up, James.
That was brilliant. That was brilliant.
That's
the title of the episode.
It is, Rick. Obviously that name does sound familiar to some people. Others do not take the hint. Brock looks at the poster again and quips that is it meant to be a Pokemon or a Christmas tree? Because Ekans is wearing this like why give you a long kind of dress with like tinsel.
In fairness, I'm surprised Ash wasn't the one making that comment.
Ash was too distracted by getting pulled in by Misty.
Yeah.
You know, like literally, it's a case of like, here, you have to come with me.
Yeah.
Which is like, unfortunately, what like I think every person like in.
Like we've already established, Brock has his own kind of agenda. So she doesn't necessarily want to be pulled along with that. So she's going to do her thing and drag Ash along.
Absolutely, yeah. She needs company. You know, she needs a second opinion. So inside the salon, we see Jesse and James. They're feverishly working on two Pokemon. Like they are actually working in Garber. They're actually on the job.
Like I feel like this is their calling.
Yeah,
you know, if we're doing a what would Rocket do, I think they should just do this.
Yeah, they literally They love every single minute of this.
Yes.
Like I don't think this is even part of the fucking like sting.
Yeah.
I think they actually just genuinely enjoyed working on Pokemon. Yeah. And you know, all power to them. You know, I'm not gonna.
Is this a Rocket operation or is this them?
Oh, this is the Jesse and James operation. Like this is their passion.
This is them. Just we need to make some money. Let's do this.
We're on like indefinite unpaid leave.
They got their holiday that they were asking for.
Yeah.
And then they realised, oh shit, we need money.
Yeah.
I mean, you say that, but like, I feel like this is their passion project. I think this is them just going like, here, I just want to do something fun.
And then the twerp has to turn up and ruin their fun.
Well, to be fair, if anyone's ruined their fun, it's me out.
Yeah.
It's like the actual like, can we please make some fucking money? I'm sick of wearing this coat. Because like Jesse and James are actually in like kind of like fat, like I suppose like an actual like kind of like a hairdresser's gown in a sense, like an actual like I can't actually the name of the actual jacket itself. There's a name to it, but I just can't remember. It's like a Howie coat, as far as I know. But yeah, they're there and they are working on 2 Pokemon in particular. Jessie is working on a Raichu, saying that the drab old Pokemon are getting complete makeovers. That makeover being lipstick for the Raichu, eyelashes, so blusher, which means the cheeks are now purple, lilac instead of red, which should really impact their fucking attacking ability, but however.
How they didn't get zapped doing that is beyond me.
Very good point, actually.
Very well trained.
Yes. We also, the Raichu now also has stars across its belly and a band across its shoulders, and then it gets a necklace then to go with. James is working on Dodrio and focusing on its hairstyles. So they both say they'll make a Pokemon a Prettymon and unveil their finished work. Now I'm not going to criticise their work, but and I'm not saying I'm a dedicated follower of fashion, like a certain David Bowie, but I don't think this is going to work somehow.
Well,
like, sorry, go on.
You see the Pokemon don't, like, they see their reflection in the mirror and they're like, oh god, and their owner's like, yes, so pretty, which is how I imagine my dog is whenever I put a coat on her.
I'd say you take a look, what was it, Gen 4 had stickers that you could put on Pokeballs.
Yes.
It's basically, if you made use out of that feature, you put them on haphazardly and they're as decorated as the Pokeballs were.
Pretty much. So, yeah, that's true.
Like, I'd say you can criticise it, but people did crap like that, and especially with the contests, the beauty contests that they had.
I was about to say, this actually predates a lot
5.
of the gimmicks that would be in later generations.
Which, like, if you give your Snivy a top hat and a cane, and you give crap like that.
Yeah,
so yeah, this is just a precursor.
It is. We were warned. We didn't hit the warnings.
Yeah.
So yeah, the unfinished work for Dojo at least is one of its heads have white face paint on, and has dreadlocks, which is a strange move. And then I think then the other 2 heads are kind of like different, like kind of like one has a buzz cut, the other one has a mohawk, that type of deal. And they both say they are masterpieces. They're fashion masterpieces according to Team Rocket. Or sorry, Salon Rocket, of course. And the customer's waiting outside as they carry out the Pokemon to her. She's like overdressed. She likes a fucking like old like kind of Etonian fucking like ballroom dancer.
Yeah.
So Raichu and Dodrio see themselves in the mirror and are, as Burkbot said earlier on, completely mortified. And I would be too, to be fair. Meowth is counting the money as Jesse and James see out the customer. Meowth saying they're overspending in advertising, reminding them that TV adverts cost too much and they're in to make a profit. So I'm glad that somebody on the team is trying to keep them on track, but already Jesse and James are like too self-absorbed with their own creation. You know, I mean, I certainly would be self-absorbed over that that we're seeing here, you know. But hey, they've got their own place, so you know, fair play to them. So Jesse says they know what they're doing, saying the more hype means the more customers willing to spend thousands on their Pokemon. So see, they get marketing and everything. They've got a business plan. We see Pokemon leaving, and Misty says she's gonna get in line. Before Ash can reply, Brock points out something and shouts, "It's there!" And he just fucking bolts to it. So we always see is kind of a blank like shop front, like a mini shopping centre.
A little mini mall.
Yeah, but Brock is ecstatic. He's found it, whatever it is. He's been looking all over for it, and in the doorway, there's again. I hate this because they superimposed it onto the door. Yeah. It's a picture of a Vulpix on a pane of glass. It's like, you could just knock the opacity down 5%. I beg you, just take the outline of it at least. No, you're just being a dickhead. So Brock's hands are trembling as he reaches for the handle, but Ash and Misty walk straight in, asking what he's afraid of. And again, I ask you, James and Burke, what could Brock possibly be afraid of in this room?
Like, there is the Chansey that's inside. He's terrified of it.
He's terrified of
anything. It's seen too much.
He's terrified of seeing that anything looks like an egg. He's scared of egg-shaped things.
As a breeder, that's gonna be bad.
Yeah, don't worry, eggs weren't invented at this time. It's fine. So we do see someone massaging Chansey as they walk in. Brock is screaming and goes, "Ah!" And he just then finally stumbles inside. The girl says to Chansey to relax, release all the tensions as Brock looks on, still trembling. Chansey is practically glowing as it says it should have more energy. Bounces up and admires itself in the mirror. So we're already getting the framing device here.
And there's no extra pieces on the Chansey. It just looks like a Chansey.
Yeah.
With some shine on it.
Yeah, exactly. But
no lipstick, no stars and stickers.
I look how very dismissive you are of this salons. Like, you haven't done anything to it. You haven't pimped my Chansey.
No. No, I'm actually just saying, like, no, the Chelsea is happy in how it appears, and that's good.
Again, it's going to be the centre of the story. It's like inner beauty versus outer beauty. Which is better?
I think that's literally a quote in the episode.
Yeah, it is. That like they've said that like several times. They literally like hit you over the fucking head with that gimmick.
Yeah.
You know. The customer's in kind of high pitched male voice. It's like a very androgynous character. And basically says the Chansey looks precious. And the customer says thanks and calls the girl Susie. So finally we know what the central character of this episode is called. Finally. She asks for the next customer, but Ash sheepishly says they're browsing because like she doesn't want to she's gonna rub my Pokemon. I don't want that. But Brock cuts in and try and say something, but he tries to say something very profound, but ends up being because that's what Brock does when he finds someone he actually does fancy.
Yeah.
So in fairness, this isn't the ghost of the ghastly.
This is admiration as much as fancying.
Yes, like, it's a combination of the two.
Yeah, it is actually like not just a woman, but a woman with an actual talent.
Yes.
And
he does not have to handle that.
Yeah, like they're usually just one role in his mind, and now they're two things crossing over, and he's like, what?
That is enough for that is quite a lot for even a male brain to comprehend sometimes. Because literally, I just see you as Burtbot, I can't see you as like both like I don't know someone who does football and science. Like how the fuck does that work? Pick one, all right? It's really complicated.
Pick a lane.
Well, you draw stuff as well. Give it a fuck! Are you so talented? It's cheating, I say. Brock is obviously trying to say something. He stumbles over his words, so Missy cuts in and she draws our attention to a Vulpix curling up, sleeping on a chair. Again, we wouldn't know what that's like.
Yeah.
So Missy wants to hug it as Ash checks the Pokedex. It explains it has 6 tails and grows more tails the more it evolves, which is true. It does grow more tails over the series.
Yeah.
But it never. I don't think it ever evolves into 9 tails, as far as I can remember. Misty loves a Vulpix's hair and wishes that Misty had such soft hair as that. Which is, I guess weird. It's like, oh, your dog's fur is nice. I wish I had fur like that.
I don't know. Some dogs have really nice curly fur, and I'm like, I'm kind of jealous.
I have no answer to that.
To be fair, considering I look like a cue ball most of the time, I mean, I can't really fucking talk, really. It's like, oh, you have hair. Good for fucking you.
So you're just jealous of all animals?
I'm jealous, yeah.
So yeah, you kind of do see what Misty's
The only Pokemon I couldn't be jealous of is Electro, because they fucking look like one. Including the tan line, like so as that happens, then she goes to pet the Vulpix, but Susie says not to touch it and said Missy has picked up the Vulpix, as you do, about to call the cutest Pokemon she's ever seen, and then gets blasted in the face by a wall of fire. Yeah, because don't forget, Vulpix is a fire type. Yeah. She knows now, of course. Vulpix hopped out of her hand and goes back to the chair, yawns, and goes back snoozing.
Which is shit.
In fairness, if you're just picked up and
woken up
from a nice slumber, I mean, again, I wouldn't know what that's like. So Misty mumbles and falls over. The Pokédex chimes in far too late to say that he uses fire attacks.
She should know that. She knew it was a Vulpix.
Yeah.
So she would have known Vulpix is a fire
even
type.
Hearing the deck saying that to watch out.
Yeah. But
anyway.
Yeah. But cute.
That's the thing. She got her female instincts took over. She just saw something cute and said, "I cannot resist. Please look at the cute thing."
Yes.
That is how it works, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's fine. So Susie explains that it doesn't like being picked up or hugged by strangers. Misty would have liked to have known sooner, but that's how it goes. Brock is like shimmying into shots in the background here. He's like did it, and gets attention. The Space Invaders walk, as we like to call it. So Susie turns around and Brock nervously says, "Hi, I'm a Brock trying to fuck," and says he wants to breed like her. I mean, I want to breed with you. Fuck. She wants to be a breeder like her. There we go. Got there eventually. Susie is flattered that Brock wants to make her his model, and Brock says, "Yes, I want to model you. I want to fuck you. God damn it." It's like frantically finding
foot right in my.
And really just says like, "Your Vulpix is nice, and thank God I didn't say vulva."
Wow. Again, I want to point out that we would have gotten into trouble for saying that line. Yeah. But no, it's grand for her. Oh yeah. Fucking smash that patriarchy. Fucking okay, so Ash and Misty are obviously lost until Brock bursts out with asking Susie to accept him as her pupil. Again, I thought this is a mistranslation, but the reaction is a bit over the top from Ash and Misty. It's like, no, what are you doing? Like, you have so much to live for. Why do you want to be a pupil? It's like no. It's just like it's a protege. It's an apprentice.
Yeah.
It's not that fucking big deal. Like, but Ash tries to reason with him. Brock tells him to mind his own business. Susie says she doesn't take on pupils as breeding takes up all of her time.
Well, no.
Well, I think that's music to fucking Brock's ears. I think you'll find. Ash asks what makes her a great breeder, and Brock screams at Ash's ignorance. So this is where Brock fangirls here.
Yep.
Which makes a welcome change, because normally he's like, a different type of obsession. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, your word's better than mine. So Brock explains with a microphone. So literally he hands it up. He's like on a PA here. Susie was awarded the Trophy of Excellence at the World Breeders' Contest 3 years in a row. Goes on to say, and then she like stands with spotlights, like quite shy, like kind of embarrassment.
Yeah.
Like, please stop putting me on a pedestal. And readers of Pokemon Friends magazine calls her the most popular breeder 4 years running. You had a copy of Pokemon Friends magazine back in the day, Burko, didn't you? You had a description?
Sure.
Yeah.
What?
I had lots of magazines. I couldn't possibly comment. And apparently her website gets 10,000 hits a day.
9,990 of those are Brock.
Please breathe with me. Please breathe with me. Now, fuck. Her fucking comments page must be a minefield of sex pests. Again, I wouldn't know what that's like, folks. Misty agrees with Brock's description. Ash says he hears him clear and loud because he was screaming the entire thing.
Yeah.
Misty then speculates if Vulpix has won any awards in competition, and Brock then slides again with a microphone to explain that Vulpix is a supermodel of the Pokemon world. The hair and flowing tails make Vulpix a top tier model. What other Pokemon do you think could make as good supermodels in the Pokemon world?
That's a very awkward question. What ones are loved by the creeps of the Pokemon world?
I have a solid one. Wigglytuff.
Oh.
Do you not remember its
really?
Do you not remember its Dex entry? Where like it literally people cannot stop touching its fur because it's so soft.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Poor fucker.
He has Wigglytuff as his entry today.
Oh, you're so wrong about that. But
it has to be like Machamp.
I'd say
Would be a good
Jinx.
the
bodybuilder, yeah, that's good. Yeah, something for the ladies. Yes.
I'd say Jinx.
Jinx is going to be an acquired taste, I think. Like with the dancing, with the singing, the kissing. Yeah, I can see that actually. Yeah, she might have a
it's just basically going off what's humanoid.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, like it's going like objectively what's cute, or at least in the match app case, is like, oh, that's just actively physically impressive.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, so obviously Brock continues to gush here until Ash just tells him to shut the fuck up, which we're all thankful for at this point.
Yep.
Vulpix just kind of yawns at it. Tea is served as Susie hears they're all on a Pokemon adventure, and Pikachu agrees to eat some food. And Susie compliments Pikachu on its shiny coat. Yes, it's all that fighting I have to keep doing because Ash is such a terrible trainer. Susie then asks if Brock is the one to prepare all the food, and he literally he gets like stands bolt upright and goes, yes, no, it's me. I can prepare food for you. I mean, but what are we asking again? And he obviously says yes, he does. And Missy says it's Brock's recipe as well. So he's that talented, but he doesn't want to impress himself on Susie.
He really does.
Yeah, he's trying. He wants someone else to say it though. That's the thing. That's why he's being so oh yeah, it's my food. And then Missy is the wingman of the situation. Then So Susie explains that her breeding career started the same way as Brock, because she was first interested in Pokemon nutrition. Which is kind of the thing that they don't necessarily do it in the game, but it's kind of funny, like in the Sword and Shield one, where like. If you don't know, Sword and Shield is in Galar, which is a replica of the UK, of England and Scotland, mostly. And the hilarious thing was that the people that make the Pokemon games, Game Freak, they basically went on holiday to England to basically get like a feel of the culture and stuff like that. And
they didn't find much.
They didn't really find much because the Brits mostly took their culture from other places. But
all they got was belligerent football fans, which turned into Team Yell.
Yes, that's genuinely it. Like there are three main takeaways of England was 1, stadiums.
Yeah.
2 was like kind of obviously the decor, the kind of like old like Georgian style decorations, and 3 curry. Curry was the main takeaway because Curry is a mechanic in Sword and Shield.
Yep.
Where literally like you can go camping and you can basically make a curry for your Pokemon, makes them happy, restores their health. Like
I don't think I ever used that.
It's a really good mechanic.
I loved it.
It's a really good mechanic. Honestly, it works.
Yeah.
It really fucking works. Because if you want to evolve a Pokemon by happiness, it's the quickest way. Literally, like, get good at making curry and boom, done.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah. What was your favourite curry, Burkman?
The sweet and sour one to make it, but in real life I wouldn't.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be my favourite.
Again, I love what like most of the meals were just called curry when they're really not a fucking curry.
Yeah.
Curry going by the actual textbook definition of it, I think.
Yeah.
But like I said, like that's kind of like it's almost like little nods to like all these episodes where they just had a throwaway character that does these things.
Yeah.
And now it's a mechanic we can throw in, so it's kind of cool. So obviously we see this where am I at? I lost track of where I was. How could this part out? There we go, right. So, Vulpix hops onto the bench and looks at the food that Pikachu was eating. Pikachu shares his piece with Vulpix, which takes it and eats it in one go. Loves it.
There we go.
Brock is apparently prepared this batch and it's amazing. Vulpix loves it.
Yeah, because she only likes the cooking of Susie's cooking.
Yes.
Which, it's just new exotic flavours that Brock is bringing in.
Yes.
So when you find like a new fruit from a tree and you're like, ooh, what kind of curry can I make with this?
That's it, yeah. And like I said, Susie's impressed with that because it clearly knows that it's a fan of Brock's cooking.
Yeah.
Brock nervously thanks Vulpix and thumps his head on the table because that's what you do when you're embarrassed, apparently. You just give yourself a fucking concussion. Misty then asks Susie about the really pimped out looking Pokemon out on the street, asking if they're the latest trend. And she says yes. It's a pretty large looking, tacky looking building, as Ash calls it. Susie explains that once it opens, some trainers have tried to make their Pokemon as flashy as possible. Quite literally, Salon Roquet is Pimp My Pokemon.
Yeah.
Which I love.
Whose exhibit?
Fairness, I don't think...
Meowth's
exhibit, yeah.
All the bling.
All the bling. It's got a coin in his head. You can't get any more bling than that, to be fair.
True.
I'm having real Gen 5 flashbacks and watching that. The fashion contests.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's all I'm seeing here as well. Like, Brock is saying that Salon is causing the trend, while Susie explained that true breeders bring out the strength and personality of their Pokemon, but the new fad is just about the looks rather than anything else. So again, this is kind of run true with some of the mechanics of the later games, where like again with our curries, of course, or Wargames curries, you get little perks. Like you can get like they'll like resist a feint or something like that, or they'll resist poisoning or something like that.
Shake off the paralysis.
Or they hang on just because you fed them such nice food.
And you know what? I agree with that.
Yes.
And rightfully so. That's give and take, you know. So Ash agrees that's saying it's a waste of time showing off. But Missy says some Pokemon like getting dressed up like that, like people do, and looks at Pikachu for a suggestion. She dreams up Pikachu in a skirt with a flower on its head, but Pikachu just goes, "Dude, lay it off, right? You
I just know Pikachu's like, I know you're thinking of something, and I do not agree with it.
I am not comfortable with this conversation. Stop.
Look, I know I was happy to smell that perfume last week, but
I'm really not that inclined. I am completely androgynous. I don't care. I am a mouse. You cannot dress up a mouse." Although Stuart Little would beg to differ on that, I think.
Tell that to Enid Blyton. No, not Enid Blyton. Yeah, Enid Blyton?
Maybe? I can't remember.
Oh,
did she?
No, I don't think it's Enid Blyton.
Are you thinking of the
Peter Rabbit?
Peter Rabbits?
Who was that? Oh no, my brain is broken.
Oh Jesus, yeah, I can't remember either.
If only you hadn't drank my tea.
That has my opiates in it.
Yeah.
Obviously Pikachu doesn't like this, so Ash thinks Pikachu is fine as it is, saying it doesn't need fads, it's the inside that counts. And Missy goes back, they both count. And they both argue about it for the next 5 minutes.
Yeah. That is their relationships,
in a nutshell, So Susie suggests Brock stops them, but Brock says, nah, forget about it. Ash argues that if she thinks fashion is great, bring Psyduck to that salon and see how they can do about it. And Missy thinks it's a great idea, and then she realises, oh, it's Psyduck. I guess that's ardent. And Ash thinks, haha, he's got the last quack. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just part of the script, alright? I'm disappointing the dog here with these puns. Now Misty scoffs that both will look good no matter what they are. And Ash agrees that Psyduck will, but Misty will not. Misty screams at Ash that he knows nothing about fashion. And neither do you, Misty. You've got let's be honest here. Let's critique. You know, there's not much to see fashion-wise with Misty, alright?
Whereas Ash is the real fashionable
Ash
one.
is a scruffy bastard. You're not expecting anything from him.
Beatrix Potter.
There you go. Got there in the end.
Sorry.
It's alright.
She wouldn't be able to say anything in the chat until she finds
No,
out.
that's it. She doesn't want. She has to solve this. Yeah.
So let's critique. What are we
Misty.
critiquing?
Misty.
We're judging her on her appearance, the 12-year-old girl.
Oh yes. Not to give her a complex or anything, and this definitely won't.
Okay, that's good. She's a fictional character. It's fine.
Yeah.
So Misty then looks again a side up for support, but gets nothing but a head tilt, and admits it might be more difficult than first envisioned. Ash tells him to get going, as Misty says Ash should be jealous when they get back. When Psycho's even cuter than Pikachu. I fucking doubt it.
Absolutely not. Hasn't got main character or mascot material.
Absolutely not. Misty walks out of Susie's place and Psylocke eventually waddles away. Susie wonders if inside or outside matters more. But since the salon opened, she thought about her own methods and how effective they are. How does Team Rocket give you a crisis of confidence in anything? Like, if anything, it should make you feel better about yourself.
Well, in fairness, they are making money and have queues outside, so she is probably going like, oh fuck, if they can do it, what am I doing wrong?
Again, I don't want to use this as an excuse, but it's literally the people that are wrong here.
Yes,
the people are wrong. Yeah. Like, come on. So yeah, Brock takes offence at this.
Nintendo Chalmers.
Brock takes offence at this and says she needs to stick to what she's doing. And Ash says they'll prove it with what's on site is what matters. Apologies for that line. Susie appreciates the backup, but asks how. Brock suggests that instead of style over substance, they give them substance with style. Which I thought was a good line.
Yeah.
And speaking of substance with style, it's our favourite part of the show, everybody. The outbreak. And with the outbreak comes...
Who's that Pokemon?
It's all getting very exciting here on Who's That Pokemon. The crowd, the field is packed up. Burtbot, you're on 31. You're in touching distance of myself and James.
Yeah, 1 point behind. I could have fucking reduced that.
You could have.
This week.
Well, no, we've done well the last few weeks. We've held Jonathan off from getting any points over
this
the last
is true.
while.
You have done your job, yes.
So I'm still annoyed that I didn't.
There's never going to be a scenario that you caught Jonathan.
I'm going to say, there's never going to be a scenario where you're leading.
Look, she's
you never know.
2 wins away.
Yeah, you never fucking know. So,
that's what you know, and me next time.
Yes.
So
it's possible.
The next 2 rounds could be her.
It is. It could be. All pressure on you now. You know?
Like, I don't do well under pressure.
Well, come on, you're first guess as well.
Yes. So, with that then, obviously you have a dex entry. This one is from Heart Gold.
Oh, okay.
So, entry is, when its fins begin to vibrate, it is a sign that rain will come within a few hours.
Okay. Buckwell, I have the list of what's been used in what hazards so far. So if you want to take a look through these with me.
This isn't cheating, we've all been doing this since the start.
Yeah. So when its fins, say that again?
When its fins begin to vibrate, it is a sign that rain will come within a few hours.
Okay.
Fins and rain.
Yeah. Like, I can't think there's gonna be too many to choose from here.
Like, what ones have fins?
Yeah.
So again, you get first twist on this robot.
So there's 2 main contenders for me that are standing out.
The first one I was thinking of
is
done. So it can't be
what
that.
one had you thought of?
Lapras.
Right, okay.
I am going to say
Magikarp, okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
Wasn't going to be one of the 2 that I was going to go for.
Okay.
I'm going to go for Seaking.
Seaking. You're both wrong.
Okay.
But it is a water type. That's your next clue.
Oh, well, that doesn't tell us anything new.
It doesn't
I'm going to say Vaporeon.
Vaporeon, okay.
Okay, then I'm going to say Goldeen.
Goldeen. One of you is right.
Thank you.
And it's Vaporeon.
Yeah!
So, that is a good run. That is a good run you're on, Burtbot.
I am bossing it.
You are. And the scores, as it stands now, is Burtbot 35, James 39, and myself 38.
Yeah. And I am picking
Next.
the next one.
Yes.
Which means I want to get use both to get nothing.
Ideally, yes.
Ideally.
But ideally is not how this show works.
I am buzzing.
You should. You've actually caught up. Well done. In the space of 4 weeks, like, not bad. So, getting back to the show, we cut back to inside Susie's salon and we see Brock ushering people to take some seats at the back. Again, all these Pokemon have decorations on them, so you can see who's gone to who first.
Yeah.
Pikachu and Vulpix are on tables getting massaged and groomed. And Brock says there's going to be a lecture on Pokemon care, which Susie obviously jumps into immediately with Pikachu.
Yep.
She's massaging Pikachu, saying Pokemon should be given one if they ever got injured in battle. Which is kind of a gimmick they've done with Generation 2, where you can give your Pokemon a haircut and that boosts its happiness. And there's items you can do as well.
Like Blue's sister gave haircuts or massages as well.
That's right, yeah.
And that's been a staple since
then, yeah. So,
like, here's a way to boost their happiness.
Yeah, when they realise, oh shit, like Pokemon can evolve if they're happy.
Yeah.
Why did we think of that sooner?
And then that just exploded with the X and Y. Whenever the I forget what it was called in that one. But it was basically you get to play with.
Yes.
You get to play with them.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. It's the Pokemon and Me.
Pokemon and Me, that's it.
Which is actually quite good as well. That's a very good mechanic.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically Susie gives Pikachu a massage, talking about all this other stuff in between, and as this is happening, the queue outside Celadon City is dwindling until Misty's the only one left. And actually the Chansey trainer from before pops in and says, oh, Susie's lecture is starting, you should pop in to Misty. And Misty just goes, okay. And again, it's all about Pokemon massage. We cut back to Susie. As
really, that's the kind of case of you show up. There's 2 lines. You get into one line. The other queue starts emptying quickly.
That's it. Yeah.
So you jump into that one, and the original queue starts emptying.
It's the Dunn Stores principle. That's how it works.
Yeah.
So
the Tesco rule.
Had Misty just stayed in Susie's,
yeah, it would have been fine.
No problem.
And her Psyduck would have been radiant. Probably not. But there we go. So yeah, we cut back to Susie, and now Ash has volunteered to show the massaging techniques with Pikachu. He's a bit nervous to start, but they both get into it in the end, and Pikachu's really enjoying it, as you probably would do with a massage. I wouldn't know, I'm too much of a bloke to go on spa days. Confirm or deny, Burke, have you ever gone on a spa day?
I have not.
Well, there you go, you're too much of a bloke for it as well.
She's a tomboy, as she's really established.
She has tried to lock that in the last couple of weeks, like, you know. So whenever she actually does act like a girl, we are going to definitely fucking
absolutely
punish her for that. Like, we are never going to let you leave that up, you know. Show any sign of weakness. So again, so Susie's explaining the reason why you do this is because they're like Pikachu's cheeks get like sore after battle, so you massage them and it basically boosts up their energy. So again, very like bespoke like treatments for your Pokemon. It's almost like you're supposed to care about them or something. And then Brock like speaks kind of room, almost like adding to it, going like the techniques are only as good as the person doing it. And everyone looks at their Pokemon going, oh god, what have I done? I put decals on my fucking like Pokemon. It's like as if like you put like flames in your car to make it go faster. It's not going to work.
Wait, doesn't work?
No, it doesn't work. No, I didn't want to say it, but your car looks terrible. Like it looked like something out of fucking Hot Wheels. Come on, man. So anyway, meanwhile, as this is happening, Salon Jesse and James are finishing off a Squirtle. I say finish off a Squirtle. It's wearing a wig. It's got roses on the shell. It's got a bow on its tail, and it looks completely fucking embarrassed to be there.
As you would be, to be fair.
Yeah, fairness. Jesse remarks it's the best of its latest line of Pokemon fashions as he gushes about the masterpiece. Roses, a symbol of love, and he flops on the floor. We also had daffodils, we ran out of roses. So Squirtle decides at that then. So Jesse tells me out then to bring in the next customer. He's still counting money from the last one. And all we see is a silhouette of Misty and Psyduck. They don't realise it then at the time, of course. And Misty, or Meowth, obviously notices she's the only one left of that. Jesse doesn't care how many they are, so long as they appreciate beauty. So they're already believing their own hype here now. The hubris is taking over. And they just want their service to refine customers. And Meowth goes, that's not how you make profit.
Yeah.
I mean, but at the same time, they know Misty. They
should know
there's
Misty.
Nothing but trouble if they engage with her.
Yes. And with the Psyduck, they're making a double. Boom.
Ay.
So, yeah. So Rocket shy away dramatically when they realise who it is. Rocket immediately pounce on Misty and usher her into the salon, but like pretending like, oh, come on in, don't look at our faces. And she keeps, no, it's the Psyduck I want to get done. It's like, shut up. You look better than the Psyduck.
So they got a taste of giving Ash the makeover in the last episode.
That's true.
So like,
this is how it happens. Yeah. This is true.
I hope this isn't awakening something in me.
Look, you're gonna wake up the next morning and like James going like, I'm a pretty girl now. Or he's giving the dog a makeover or something.
Yeah. Stickers all over the dog.
James, why is there a big star on the dog's back? I don't know, funny. So James says it's going to be another masterpiece as Missy does get a makeover. A very fetching pink jacket, new hairstyle, new red top. And Missy kind of looks confused at first, but Rocket then shows herself in the mirror and she loves it. Because remember, she's a girl this episode, right?
Yeah.
Girls love makeovers, don't they, Burkbot?
Yeah,
so cute!
She is so cute.
You're annoyed now, but wait until you get your makeover and you'll just love it.
Yeah,
you're going to look brilliant.
Okay, I'd like to see that happen.
Don't tempt us. You do not want to give us creative control. So, as they look in the mirror, they all love it because we're artists. We captured the real you. And then I'll take the compliments, and she says, why don't we try out more styles? I was like, oh, you poor innocent fool. Yeah. So they all scream makeover, and they start getting to work on Misty by just basically painting her face. She's got stars,
like a red
rainbows.
Nose,
yeah.
Like a clown.
Yeah. Well, in fairness, she very looks like a fucking clown at the moment, so yeah, that checks out. Meowth scowling in the background going, this is all total shit.
Yeah.
Meowth has seen enough, and they say they want to get that Pikachu so they can interrogate her to see where it is. So Meowth completely blows her cover. He ruins it. Like, he's at the fucking everything up here. Like, if anything, what should Rocket do is sack Meowth.
Yeah.
Throw him on the street.
Like, literally just continue being a salon. You don't even need to do what would Rocket do. Is like, just do your job. You're actually doing a good job. You're making some sort of a profit.
You're loving this. You're enjoying this. Yeah.
You're your own HR, so you don't have to apply for time off.
Makes complete sense.
Hypnotise your boss.
Yeah. So, again, Missy now realises what's going on here. And Celadon Rocket, shockingly, was Team Rocket all along. Who could have guessed? God. So, Jesse and James then say that they were trying to do that until Meowth blew their cover, and he's getting stomped and elbow dropped for his trouble, which he deserves. Meowth then slashes back, and their disguises come off completely, which is a shame, because they're actually quite good costumes for them. Missy says they'll tell them nothing, but Missy then grabs Misty in a headlock with a paintbrush. Is like, oh, I'll make you look like Frankenstein if you're not careful.
Like,
no, please help, I'm a girl this episode. Missy then calls out for Psyduck for help, but Psyduck's fucked off. They actually keep looking for it, but he's literally bolted before that's happened.
Yeah.
So,
which is a good thing, as we find he's gone to get help.
Yes, exactly.
This is why Psyduck has a bad rap.
He does. He really, really does.
He's a decent Pokemon.
Yeah. He just sounds annoying.
Yeah.
It's like Ash, basically. So, yes, indeed, Missy gets annoyed that it's gone, but it has just gone back to the other salon to get help. So he wiggles out to the front of it, starts flailing, you can do the voice better than I can. Pikachu obviously understands what that means, and Ash presumes something's bad happened to Missy, because literally everything bad happens to Missy. Pikachu then rushes through, they all follow straight into Celadon Rocket, and they call out for Misty and see the Team Rocket is holding her to a chair, which is unfortunate. So it's terrorists, it's a hostage situation now. And Susie has actually joined along as well with the Vulpix, which will tie into things later.
Ooh.
Yes, so
foreshadowing
indeed. So Missy's relieved to see them both. Ash and Brock are more surprised at what's happened to her, to be fair, the fucking state of her.
Yep.
Missy grumbles, they both snap out of it and tell them to release Misty. But Rocket say they'll have to wait their turn. Missy's makeover isn't finished yet.
Ash and Brock were pissing themselves laughing whenever they saw her as well.
In fairness, I would too. Come on, if that happened to her,
Oh yeah.
And it's just is this really the worst thing that could be happening to you, that you've got ridiculous makeup?
She was
to her, yes.
Who will make you look like Frankenstein, and that's why she
just capitulated.
Yes.
Okay, take whatever.
Don't make me green.
Don't make me green. I hate green. Make me blue instead.
Fair would clash with her red hair.
That's true. Yeah, you don't want that. You look terrible. You look like fucking Ganondorf.
Look like Christmas.
Yes, exactly. So the reason they're doing this, of course, is because it's for beauty research, is what James calls it, and somehow this is what makes Susie pipes up. Beauty research? That's horseshit. And she argues that beauty's on the inside, and all Pokemon are beautiful, they need to be shown. And Jessica goes, bullshit! Everything is a facade. Everything is shit. Mm-hmm. We must make ourselves look beautiful for the world. And James scoffs at Susie's knowledge of Pokemon breeding. And he says it's the outside that counts. And then Meowth goes, neither of you know about Pokemon breeding. We're literally trying to make money. It's a scam.
Yep.
And Again, Meowth for the second time in a row fucks things up because he says that in earshot of everyone outside. And they all start going rabble, 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 rabble. Apparently the second part of the plan was to keep the salon open until they found a rare Pokemon and then shut down. Pretty much. Which again is not a bad plan, to be fair.
No, it's not. But like also they would then might have had a change of heart.
And actually grown into it. Yeah, exactly. So they hedged their bets. So
or at least market for like, okay, we'll track that.
Yes.
And we'll steal it tonight.
Yeah. Now you have it. Yeah.
And don't absolutely blow their cover immediately.
Exactly. They're playing the long game, but Meowth wasn't interested, unfortunately. So Jesse says their next masterpiece is going to be the Pikachu, and they offer a trade with Misty.
No, you see, if they had taken Ash's hat instead, maybe
it's a totally different story. Yeah. Oh man, like Misty is like there already. Like it's gone. So Ash suggests a battle too, and Brock wants in on it, which is surprising. Unless it's about a Brock battle here. And Pikachu wants to square up as well. James laughs it off saying Celadon City has a fashion battle platform. Takes out a big microphone, presses a button, and the whole building goes up in smoke. And we kind of hear Jesse then saying, get ready for our fashion extravaganza, Pokemon Battle-thon, Zoolander walk-off, or some shit like that. Which should have been the case, to be honest. So we see like a string of lighted steps streaming down. We hear Jesse and James doing a slightly different version of their motto here. Both are in costume. Jesse is the Cavalier, whereas James is the Bavarian waitress. Yeah. Which is like, wow, James, you really are.
He just jumped right into the cross-dressing.
He really does. He literally does properly jump into it. He loves it. So they're both in costume, and Misty sit on the chair at the top of this kind of pedestal, really, and in the centre of her kind of this rose. Down more steps, you have Jesse and James, and then on the ground floor is Ash, Brock, and Susie, where everyone's looking on. So Ash isn't a fan of the playing field, but Jesse and James tell Ekans and Coffee to begin. Let's just get this shit on the way. They're both still in their costumes in the shop window, by the way. That's been them all that time. They've just been in freeze frame.
They've just been, freeze frame.
Strike a pose. And Ashley's costumes says costumes are not needed, so Pikachu's already energized from the massage. And Brock brings out Geodude. So Geodude is told to use Seismic Toss, grabs up Ekans and throws it down. But it counters that by rolling into a shape and hits Pikachu, which is a good reversal, to be fair.
Looked like a jelly-filled donut.
It did. It was a snake-filled donut instead. Pikachu uses a Thunder Shock, but Coughing and Ekans seemingly resist it. Maybe their costumes were...
Or they're rubber.
They're rubber costumes, James asks for a sludge makeover from Coughing and does by sludging Pikachu and Geodude, so they're blinded. Jesse then says to finish it off, but both Ekans and Coughing trip over the costumes. Ekans I can understand.
Yeah.
How did Coughing trip over?
Ekans knocked into Coughing.
Maybe.
I think it was.
Maybe, yeah. Makes sense. It was a fashion disaster, it has to be said. Meowth tells them to get up to finish the battle, and they rush onwards until Vulpix steps in, and we get another speech then from Susie saying that Vulpix will take care of them. Jesse keeps trash talking, saying they'll get a makeover when they take off Vulpix's tails, which is a bit harsh. You can't. I think doxing tails is illegal now anyway, so they're going to get a lesson in breeding, continuing by saying that they're only inner beauty, they have no inner strength, which is true. Yeah. Because Jesse thinks that Pokemon are all like fashion models, all that counts is a pretty face. Yeah, well, here's the thing. Vulpix knows Fire Spin. That trumps all arguments. So, Fire Spin is a really effective move in the cartoons, as we'll see, because it's literally a fire tornado. So Meowth agrees with...
So much more powerful than it is in the game.
Oh, good Christ, yeah. Like, honestly, they've hyped this move up way too much. Vulpix uses Fire Spin. It engulfs Coughing, Ekans, and Meowth. Then Jesse and James go, please save the gowns. And then they're swept away with it as well. Misty's still tied to the chair, cries for help, but the Fire Spin is up in flames, quite literally. Fades off, and Team Rocket blast off again. So we mentioned what should Rocket do? Dude, just open the salon. Just retire. Yeah. You're having fun, you know? That's how it goes. So we're not going to do what should Rocket do. We've already decided. It's done. Vulpix stands proud as Ash is impressed by the attack, asking the Pokédex for more information, and then that explains how Fire Spin works.
I just want to say, James is currently looking up how cute is Ekans' face. If Jesse is...
No, all I was looking up was how long until that Ekans evolves.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, alright. Cutesnakes.com begs to differ, James. So Brock turns to the crowd saying that cute exterior hits some incredible strength, which is true because Vulpix would be level 43 to learn Fire Spin. Yeah. So yes, it does.
Basically Fire Tornado.
Pretty much, yeah. This is the Pokemon's true personality, and the crowd then go, oh shit, he was right all along. Okay, wipe the shit off this Pokemon's face. And then Psyduck wanders to the steps and Misty calls for it, saying it ducked out on me, but don't tish. At least it wasn't Meowth that did the pun this time. She's all burnt out from the fire spin, so she's not happy about this. And Command decided to untie her. So back at Susie's, Vulpix gets a pet for its hard work, and Susie says thanks for everyone for making her believe in what she's doing again. Ash thanks her for the compliment and praises her ability. Brock is then told by Susie that she's very impressed with how she handled the Pokemon, and Brock basically approaches her and says, I cannot be your teacher, I'm still learning myself. Which is good, because then she's on a journey of her own then. Because she says...
I mean, she still knows more than Brock.
I think everyone knows more than Brock, to be fair.
So she could teach him that much.
Brock is just a meathead that's really good at cooking.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, he does get things sometimes right, but she's the one that actually has the talent. Yeah. Brock is a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
At this time, anyway. Then he gets better. Because now we have a point to it. Ash asks if she's leaving, closing the salon, and Susie explains that she needs to leave to learn more, which is a fair point. And there's only so much you can do rubbing chances for a living. Yeah. And that does actually sound like a euphemism, doesn't it? So it wants Brock to continue as well, because now they're going to be rivals. So as this happens, Vulpix leans on Brock, which, as you know, is a very powerful message from an animal.
Yeah.
And Susie would like him to take care of Vulpix for her.
Vulpix.
Yeah, there you go. And Brock's the first person apart from her that's been friendly with. So Vulpix is taking a liking to Brock here, which is nice.
He's done something right.
Yeah,
this is again another affiliation he has with a fire Pokemon, because he was the one who kind of rescued Charmander.
That's
and
right,
gave it to Ash.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's a rock type trainer.
Brock should have gotten the Charmander.
I think we mentioned that before. It made sense if they all got a starter. But it never turned out that way.
I think they did with the later gens.
Each one got a starter. Yeah. They kind of fixed that, didn't they? Vulpix is going to go with Brock. Literally just hands her the ball and just pops in. And Brock gets, everyone gets a little teary-eyed going he literally just got a gift of Vulpix. Yeah. Lucky bastard. They all look on as basically Vulpix now joins the team. Ash turns and notices that Misty is still in the makeup and starts laughing again, which is fair. Misty gets defensive, saying, it was very fashionable at the time. I was young and needed the money. And then the narrator focuses on Brock to see us out as Susie waves them away. And as we do, on the opposite side of the street, we have a mob of angry customers chasing Team Rocket down the streets. Jessie says, no, clearly you're too ugly for our fabulous designs. Because that was the problem after all.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, we're going to quickly jump into the Pokedex. Only one entry to end this episode off. Sorry for rushing through this, guys. Unfortunately, we're on schedule. But we're going to talk about Vulpix. Big fan of Vulpix, I'm not going to lie. Yeah. One of my favourite Pokemon. Ninetales as well. To be fair, I'm just a big fiend for fire types. I will happily sing their praises.
Fair enough. I don't think it's one that would have just been get it crossed off the list of things I have to get and never use it again. Oh, definitely.
There's definitely a certain aspect of that. So a little bit of trivia here about Vulpix. It was called Foxfire in the beta. Yeah. It was very literal.
When Mozilla came in and said no.
Exactly. Copyright. Obviously it is a fox. It's a red fox in particular. But you might be wondering why it learns ghost and psychic type moves.
Yes.
So the reason this is because of the kitsune of Japanese legend. It's a spiritual fox essentially.
Okay.
So that's why it can learn ghost moves like Shadow Ball and Confuse Ray, or psychic type like Extrasensory.
Yeah.
So that's why it does that. Obviously when you kind of see it then with Ninetales, it makes complete sense then, because that is essentially the Ninetales Kitsune legend.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. Name wise, not much to say really. The Latin for fox is Vulps. So it literally is like Vulpix and the number 6.
Yeah.
For its tails, yeah. It's also, again, another interesting thing about Vulpix is that it got an alternate form in Sun and Moon. So we had in Sun and Moon you go to a basically Hawaii variety called Alola, and there's some various different species that you would know of, but they're different forms. And
one of the best things they've brought into the series.
Absolutely, and I'm glad they're continuing that into Pokemon Legends as well.
Yeah.
So we should get to that, because that gold girl is fucking adorable. But in Sun and Moon you get a special type of Vulpix that isn't in fact a fire type. It's an ice type.
Yep.
It's an ice fox. And obviously it's based on an Arctic fox.
Yeah.
Goes without saying. Very cute, very wholesome.
Those Arctic foxes that live in Hawaii?
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. Come on. Everyone knows that. And they're brought over.
Mad for surfing,
Oh, they are. Jesus Christ. It's mad surfers they are. But yeah, they're very, very, very nice design. Both of them are well designed, to be honest. They're both very good Pokemons. And And
good boys.
They're all very good boys, absolutely. As we all know, foxes are not dogs, but also good boys.
Yes.
That is the rule.
All foxes are good boys.
Yeah. Fun fact, actually, the Japanese name for Vulpix is Rokon, right? So Roku is number 6, and Kon is the word for grudge.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go. But Kon is also the supposed sound a fox makes in Japan. That's the actual the bark is the con.
So what does the fox say?
Con, apparently.
Oh God.
Yes.
What a note to leave that on.
Yeah, no, I'm not even doing an outro for that. Fucking hell. Like that's such an old joke. It's an old meme. Why would you do that? It's like I was hoping we get. No, fuck that. I'm done. Subscribe to Low Blows if you want it. Like, I'm sorry. Well, that was very funny, me from the past, but unfortunately I have to be really professional and start doing this outro because I felt guilty leaving it on such a low note. Yeah, it turns out I had to try and catch a bus and it ended up being 20 minutes late anyway, so fuck me, right? Anyway, who knew buses could be so unreliable? Either way, folks, hopefully you enjoyed that episode of the Jellyfield Donut podcast. Sorry if there was a bit of a rush towards the end. I know a lot of you Vulpix stands will probably be wanting us to do that episode justice again, but it's filler. I mean, it's not going to be the first time you see Vulpix, so, you know, any other business we get with that, we'll probably, you know, talk about it the next 6 or 7 episodes when the writers remember that Brock has a Vulpix. So, yeah, there you have it. Hopefully you enjoyed that episode, and you can listen to all of our back catalogue on the Low Blows Network, so give them a follow. And you can listen to all of our shows there. You can also listen to their regular hunts in their regular Riesling. What the fuck is Riesling? Wrestling rundown, the Low Blows flagship, where apparently it's been pretty fucking busy in the world of wrestling. I'm not sure about Riesling. I presume they're busy as well, whoever they are. But also, if wrestling is not quite your flavour, but you also want to hear about an hour and a half worth of good banter, you can check out their Ask Low Blows, where you will get a stupid answer to a stupid question. Or maybe they'll have done the Detectives World Cup by the time this goes out. Who knows? Literally anything could happen by the time this goes out. But nevertheless, you may also be watching this on the Nerds of Us channel in video format. If you have, thank you very much for supporting the channel, and by all means give us a subscription there. Plenty of content to go around there. Or perhaps you may be one of the very few that are checking us out on our audio feed on Spotify at Monday Madness LP. So give us a follow there on Twitter or on our Twitch channel, which we're doing our regular streams now at this point. And of course subscribe to us on YouTube. We finally hit the big 1,000 mark. And some of you are real, which is exciting. So there you have it. So that's a very professional outro. So see you next week.